What's going on, everybody? This is Brendan and Cameron from BCB TV, and before I get started, I'd just like to announce our new series coming to our channel starting next week. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we are going to be breaking down one player from our 2018 NBA Big Board, and then another player that we left off our Big Board, but that we still think is definitely worth your attention. So please watch out for that, subscribe, and hit the notification button if you want to see right when it comes out, and we're going to get into our 2019 NBA Big Board. So we're starting with just the top 14 because it's very, very early, and it's hard to project past that which players are really going to be ready for the 2019 draft. And 14 is where the lottery ends, so it's just a nice number. So, Cameron, tell me about R.J. Barrett.
All right, so we have R.J. Barrett as number one on our NBA Big Board, and as you guys probably already know, he can do almost anything on the basketball court. He's a tall, athletic, small forward that, he could shoot, he can hit the three, hit the pull-up, he's got plenty of floaters, and he can finish at the rim. So we expect him to be number one on here, or be the number one draft pick in the next upcoming draft.
Yeah, Barrett is going to be leading a Duke squad next year that's probably going to be losing all their top scorers and contributors. He's a versatile wing player. He can do it all, like you said. He can shoot. He can attack the rim, floaters. He's got an entire arsenal at his disposal. And he's going to be leading a great team next year filled with NBA prospects, which might make it hard for him to put up big numbers, but we think his talent will shine above all. We saw when he played against the U.S. on Team Canada just what he's capable of doing, and he's a surefire, we think, number one pick going into 2019. Cameron, who do we have going number two?
All right, up next on our NBA Big Board, we have Zion Williamson. I'm sure you guys know him from his YouTube videos, his highlight dunks, but he can do much more than just jump and dunk on people. He's very good. He's a very good rebounder due to his athleticism and his size. I think he's around 270 at 6'6", which is ridiculous for the way he carries it and how athletic he still is. But he can rebound. From the videos I've seen, like the full video clips, his passing is at least above average for a power forward or small forward.
Right.
And obviously he can drive very easily because he's 275 pounds and athletic and has a very fast first step. So yeah, I would be surprised if he wasn't the number two pick in the next draft.
Yeah, a lot of people think Zion Williamson is just a guy who makes a lot of flashy highlight dunks on the fast break, but if you actually took a second to watch his game, there is a lot of great passing. He was way better with the ball in his hands than I thought he was, and he is developing a jump shot. It's not great right now, but with time and a lot of effort, I definitely think it's not completely broken. It could be better, but he might be able to improve it to a point where it's acceptable. I do have concerns about his listed height, and not as much as weight, but being a 6'6" power forward is not something that's easily achievable. Yeah. Now, for somebody with his obvious athleticism and weight, he should be able to play the position, but there aren't that many Draymonds out there, as much as people love to compare short big men to him. Yeah. And he hasn't shown as much of the defensive ability, and he's not as great of a passer as Draymond. So he still is this high on our board because he has unreal athleticism. You don't get comparisons to LeBron for nothing. But I have some concerns about Zion as a prospect, but he has way too much potential to not be second on our board.
Yeah.
And
definitely. If he was 6'8", I'm pretty sure he'd be. He'd at least be in more talks as a number one pick. He might still be, but
if he was 6'8",
we would have him at number one, I think.
If he was 6'8", he'd be getting probably best player ever comparisons. Yeah. Getting those LeBron, Michael Jordan type comparisons coming out of high school. Only being 6'6", I think, does hurt him a little bit, but he still gets unreal amounts of hype, and he still achieves greatness in high school that is really unprecedented. The amount of attention this man has gotten, in high school, only I think the Bol brothers have surpassed him in terms of hype, at least very recently. But yeah, Zion is he's a great prospect, and he deserves to be second on our board.
Yeah, it's crazy when you have a 6'6", small forward, power forward that weighs 50 pounds more than the best center in this class, who is our next pick.
Yeah, Bol Bol. Bol Bol is, like you said, he's very thin, but he's so athletic for a guy with his frame and Defensively, there's a lot of potential there with his length, and he's already proven to be an elite shot blocker. And he needs to work a lot, I think, on his offensive game. But when you have somebody with that size and length, like he's basically kind of like a Bamba type big.
That's what I was going to compare him to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Bamba that's. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's lighter than him, which is crazy because Bambas, yeah. But he also has way more. I think he has a lot more bulk, like ball handling skills, and like being able to get to the rim. I haven't seen Bamba take too many people off the dribble, and of course, I mean, Bol Bol's not taking high quality athletes off the dribble yet, but
I do think Bol Bol. He does have. I think he has a better post game than Bamba had in high school, and he does seem to shoot jumpers better than Bamba did.
Yeah.
So I think he might have more offensive potential than Bamba, but I think I'd rather have Bamba if we're talking like prospects. But Bol Bol is still an elite center prospect with his size and length and defensive potential.
Yeah, definitely. So our next pick we have is another center, Daniel Gaffer. I don't think he's on Bol Bol's level like at all. Like his potential is nowhere near Bol Bol's, but
right.
He's your typical athletic court. Like he can run the court like better than most big men. And yeah, I mean he's an athletic rebounding big, and that's gonna be a problem in this draft because it doesn't seem like there are too many.
Yeah, this draft is lacking in bigs. We only have, I think, 4 in our top 14. Spoiler alert. Yeah. But yeah, I think after the first 3, you kind of see a drop off in potential. Daniel Gaffer is essentially we're assuming we have him this high because we're assuming he'll add more to his offensive repertoire. Hopefully, he'll get like a more advanced post game, maybe a lot of jump shot. And same with a guy like Bruno Fernando. We have coming up soon in our big board. But guys like this are this high because, you know, bigs are hard to find. Good bigs are hard to find. And these guys have shown a lot of potential, like in college so far.
Yeah.
But there isn't much to say about a guy like Daniel Gaffer. He's just he's well put together. He's athletic. He finishes well around the rim. But he does need to work on a lot of things.
Yeah. Basically like a potential starter. And, like, I don't see much. Like, all-star, I'm not sure if that's in his potential. Maybe some people do. I really don't think so, though.
And next up, we have Cam Reddish. Reddish is going to be sharing the spotlight with a bunch of great players at Duke. He's a player that really intrigues me, though. He's arguably my favorite player in this class. He's kind of like he's a point forward, essentially. He has a great jump shot. He can handle the ball really well. He passes it well. You know, he's really athletic and finishes well. I'm excited for what he's going to bring to Duke. I do wonder if his draft stock is going to be hurt by playing with someone like Barrett, who's the clear number 1 prospect on our board, and a guy like Zion Williamson that's going to attract a ton of attention, and Trey Jones, who's going to take the ball out of his hands a lot. So I don't think you probably won't get to see his point forward ability as much, but I'm hoping he shows it enough in flashes to make people realize this is a guy you can give the ball to, and he's going to create opportunities for your other players. And I'm hoping playing with all these other great players will just end up making that obvious. But I have doubts just because, you know, it's going to be hard for him to get the ball considering he's playing with a great point guard and with RJ Barrett.
Yeah. It's similar to like what Wendell Carter's going through with Marvin Bagley right now. Like getting overshined a little bit at least. And they have they have the 3 top 3 players, so I'm sure one of them's their draft stock's gonna get hurt a little by playing with 2 others, but I mean they'll be winning games, so that always helps your draft stock. But for Cam Reddish, like his potential is not as high as the first 3 that we said.
Right.
I mean, it's higher than Daniel Gaffer, I'm pretty sure, but there's like no bigs in this draft, so they're gonna move up because of that. But
exactly.
Cam Reddish is an all-around scorer. He's athletic enough, but he's not like a super athlete. So, I mean, that might hurt him on the defensive side, but I mean, he's 6'7", so I'm pretty sure he'll be able to guard his man. And he seems pretty quick as well.
Yeah, I think he's an underrated athlete. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, he has less, like you said, he has less potential. And that's true. Yeah. He obviously doesn't have the potential of like a Zion Williamson. And I don't think he's as skilled as a guy like RJ Barrett. But Reddish is still a very good athlete, and he's still arguably just as skilled as RJ Barrett. So I'm hoping that being with those guys doesn't hurt him, but number 5 is still plenty high on the board, and I'm hoping that that's about where he ends up by the end of the season.
Yeah. All right, so we have another big that we think his potential isn't like super high, but the lack of bigs is obviously going to bring his value up, like I said before. So we have